students, today we are going to start this paper, right? So first of all, we will go to the first question. What the first question says here, using a calculator or otherwise determine the exact values. So this fraction is given to us. We have to convert it into a single fraction by simplifying it, expressing your answer as a fraction. So you can see here, in the numerator there are two fractions. They are in the mixed form, mixed fractions. So you have to convert it into an improper first. You know how to convert the mixed fraction into an improper fraction. 4 times 2, you have to multiply 4 with 2, then add 1. 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. So you will write it as 9 over 4, right? Then plus sign. Similarly, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. So it will be 9 over 8. And what is in the denominator? 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 over 2. That's the first step, right? And what's the next step? You have to multiply this by 2 and this by 2 to make the denominators equal. Like this is 4, this is 8. You have to make both of them equal. So what will you get if you multiply that by 2? 2 times 9 is 18 and 2 times 4 is 8. So it will become 18 over 8, right? And this is 9 over 8. And the denominator here is 9 over 2. Then you will simplify it more. Here 8 and 8, the denominators are equal. So you will simply add the numerators. 18 plus 9 is 27, right? Over 8. And here you can see this sign. This sign is actually the division sign. You can also write it as divided by 9 over 2, right? Then you know how to solve this division sign and this operation. You will convert it into multiplication. So what will happen if you convert it into multiplication? This fraction will be swapped. It's 9 over 2. This will become 2 over 9, right? Then you will multiply the numerator with the numerator, denominator with the denominator. You know 27 times 2 is 54, right? And 8 times 9 is 72. So you got 54 over 72. So this is not in the simplified form. What will you do? You will divide both of them by 9. Divide both of them by 9. So you know 54 divided by 9 is what? 6, right? 6, and 72 divided by 9 is 8. And you can also simplify it more, dividing both of them by 2. 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 4 is 8. So the simplified form of this fraction is just 3 over 4, right? And that's our answer. Let's see the next question. Here there is another part of this question here. 3.96 times 0.25 and then square root of this number, right? So what will you do? If they allowed us to use a calculator, so we will use a calculator here. So first of all, we will multiply 3.96 with 0.25, right? So take the calculator and write 3.96 times 0.25. So you got 0.99, right? So I will write 0.99 here, and then there is the subtraction sign. I will put it here, and then we have to find the square root of this number. So what's the number? 0.0256, right? And we have to take its square root. It's 0.16. 0.16. Then you will subtract both of them, like take the calculator, right? And subtract 0.99, 0.16, right? So it's 0.83. It's 0.83. So the answer here will be 0.83. That's the simplified form of this expression. Then we will move to the next question. What it says. The table below shows Pamela's shopping bill. Some of the information was not included. So this is the table. Here some informations are missing. Like here W is missing, X is missing here, Y and Z. These are the missing informations and you have to find these values, right? So first of all, we will take the first row here, and the item is the rice. Quantity and unit price are given to us, and we have to calculate the total cost. So you should know there is, if we represent the quantity as Q, right, the unit price as P, and the total cost as C, then this is the relation between these three values, right? So if we look at, for example, first row, quantity and unit price are given, and we have just to calculate the total cost. So total cost will be just the quantity times P. What's the quantity? That is 6.5. You can also write it as 6.5, right? Times 2 point, it's times 2.40, right? So if you multiply the quantity with the unit price, you will get the total cost. 6.5, we will take the calculator here and put 6.5 times 2.40, right? So the answer is 15.6. So this is the total cost. So the answer will be $15.6. So here the unknown value is 15.6 W, that is represented by W, right? Then we will move to the next row. Here the quantity is 4 bags, unit price is unknown, and the total cost is given, right? So what will you do? Here the total cost is unknown. No, the total cost is given and the unit price is unknown. So if we represent unit price as P, then from this equation it will be C over Q. You should know C is the total cost and Q is the quantity, right? So what's the total cost here is 52.80, right? Divided by, because the quantity is 4 cakes, bags, it will be 4. So if you again take the calculator and put 52.80 divided by 4, you will get 13.2, right? 13.2, because it's also the price, so it will be in dollars. So here X is 13.2, right? Then you will move to the next row. Here quantity is unknown, that is represented by Y, and the unit price and total cost are given. So what will you do? You will again use this equation, but this time quantity is unknown, so from this equation it will be C over P. Here C is the total cost and P is the unit price, right? So you will divide the total cost. What's the total cost here? The total cost is 14.10 and the unit price is 2.35, right? So you will divide both of them. 14.10, 14.10 divided by 2.35. It's 6. So here Y is 6, right? So here you got Y is 6, right? Then you will move to the next question here. Z% weight is 9.90. So Z% weight is given to you, right? Z percent. Z% of what? Z% of the total cost here. Z% of 82.50 is equal to 9.90, right? That is given to us. Here we have to find Z. So what is Z here? Z is unknown, but it's in percentage. So you can write it as Z over 100 times 82.50 equals to 9.90, right? So here what will you do? you will move these two on the other side. This is multiplication and this is division here. So when you move it on the other side, they will be swapped, right? So z will be equal to 9.90 times 100 divided by 82.50, right? So if you multiply these two, you will get simply 990 over 82.50, right? And if you take the calculator and divide them, 990 divided by 82.50, what will you get? It's 12, right? It's 12. So it means, what's 12 here? 12 is the value of z. It means this value, this given value is 12% of 82.50, right? So z is 12 here. So you got the values of all the unknown variables. Then we will move to the next question, question number 2, right? What it says, a times b equals to a plus b whole squared minus 2ab. So this expression is given to us, right? And we have to calculate the value of 3 steric 4. So how will you calculate 3 steric 4? Like, you will just replace a by 3 and b by 4 in this expression, right? So it's a steric b. Instead of a, you will write 3, right? 3 steric 4 equals to, what's here? It's a plus b whole square. You have to replace a by 3 and b by 4, right? So it will become 3 plus 4 whole square minus 2 times, it's a b. A is 3 and b is 4, right? So if you solve it, what is 3 plus 4? 3 plus 4 is 7. So it will become 7 squared minus, what is this? 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24, right? And then what's 7 squared? 7 squared is 49 minus 24. And we know 49 minus 24 is just 25. So the value of 3 steric 4 will be 25. That's our answer, right? Then we will move to the next question. What it says, factorize completely. We have to factorize these two parts. Like, the first part says xy to the power of 3 plus x squared y. So if I write the expression here, it's x y to the power of 3 plus x squared y, right? So to simplify it, I will write that x, what's y to the power of 3 means? Y to the power of 3 means just y, y, and times y, right? And what's x squared means here? X times x and y. So you have to take out the common factors in between these two. So what's the common factor? You can see here x, y, and y. So x and y are the common factors. So you will factor out x, y here, and what will be left inside? If you can see here, y and y will be left. You can also write it as y squared, because y times y is y squared, and here x and y are out, so just x is left, right? So the simplified form of this expression will be xy times y squared plus x. And then we will move to the next question, next part of this question, that is this one, right? So how will you factorize it? If you consider the first two terms, what are the first two terms? This and this. There is something that is common in both of them, right? Two things are there. You can see here 2 and 2, they are common, h and h are common. So what will you do? You will factor out 2h from here, right? So if you factor out 2h, m is left in here and n is here. So you will write just m minus n, right? Then from these two, you will factor out 3 and k. So what will be left behind? Here, if you take out 3 and k, m will be left, right? And because you are factoring out negative sign, so both of these two signs will be changed, right? So it's m minus n because we factor out 3 and k from here. Then what will you do? From here to here and here to here. If we look, we can see m minus n is common in both of them, right? So you will factor out m minus n from here. So what will be left here? Here just 2h will be left, and here just 3k. And the sign is negative here, so you will write negative here. So then you cannot factorize them because there is no common factor between them. So this is the simplified form of this question, right? Then we will move to the next question. What the next question says here, the table below shows corresponding values of the variables x and y, where y varies directly as x. So the relation between y and x is given to us here. They say y is directly proportional to x. It means when x increases, y will be increased, and when x decreases, y will be decreased, right? So what we had to do, calculate the value of a and b. We had to calculate the value of a and b that are unknown, right? So we can use the ratios, like because x and y are directly proportional to each other. So if you take the ratio of 2 and 12, it will be equal to 5 over a. So first of all, we will take these two columns. Here 2 over 12 will be equal to 5 over a, right? So if you simplify it by using cross multiplication, 2 with a and 5, 12 and 5. So what will you get? 2 times a is 2a equals to 12 times 5 is 60, right? Then you will get rid of these 2 by dividing both of them by 2. So 2 and 2 cancel out, and 60 divided by 2 is 30, right? So a is 30 here. The unknown a is 30, right? Then we do the same process for the first and the third column, right? So I will write it here. 2 over 12 will be equal to b over 48, right? b over 48. So again we will use the cross multiplication, 12 times b and 2 times 48, right? So 12 times b will be written as 12b, and 2 times 48 is 96, right? Then you will divide both of them by 12. So this 12 and 12 cancel out. B will be equal to, 96 divided by 12 is 8. You can use the calculator also. So here B is 8. The value of B is 8 here, right? That will be our answer. Then we will move to the next question here. You can see the third question. The Venn diagram below shows the number of students who study music and art in the class of 35 students. So there is a class of 35 students, means there are 35 students in the class, right? And what is U? Students in the class. M is the students who study music. A is the students who study art. So the Venn diagram, the rectangle represents U and the two circles represent M and A, right? So how many students study neither art nor music? We have to find that how many students are there who study neither art nor music. So because we have to understand the diagram here, this the students within this circle, right? They study music, and the students within this circle, they study art, right? And what's the this portion shows? This portion shows the students who study both music and art. And outside of these two circles and inside of the rectangle, they mentioned here there are four students who study neither art nor music. So this four represents the number of students who study neither art nor music. So it's simply given us in the diagram. So we write 4 there. Calculate the value of x. Then we have to find the value of x. So you can see x is repeating here and here also, right? So what will you do? You know the total number of students, that is 35. So if you add all of this like 4, x plus 5, 8 and x, you will get the total number of the students. So I will write here 4 plus x plus 5 plus 8 plus x. That will be equal to the total number of students in the class, right? So you will combine the similar terms, like the terms containing same variables. So x plus x will be 2x, right? And 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 8 is 17, equals to 35. Then you will get rid of this 17 here, right? So you will subtract 17 on both sides. So what will you get? 2x will be equal to 18. And you divide both of them by 2. So x will be equal to 9. So 9 is the value of x here, right? Then we will move to the next part, but the next part says, hence the number of students who study music only. So we already discussed that the first, this, this represents the number of students who study music. But this portion, this green color portion, and this portion shows the number of students who just study music, right? They are given that it's x plus 5, right? So x plus 5 means we know the value of x, that is 9. 9 plus 5. And 9 plus 5 is 14. So the number of students who study music only is 14. That's our. Now we will go to question number 4 here, right? What this question says, solve the inequality 5 minus 2x is less than 9. So the question is given to us like this, 5 minus 2x is less than 9, right? So first of all, you will get rid of this 5. You will subtract 5 on both sides. We know this 5 and 5 cancel out, right? 9 minus 5 is 4. And this is less than, here you will write negative 2x as it is. So because you have to solve this inequality for x, you will get rid of this negative 2 here, right? To get rid of the negative 2, you will divide both sides of inequality with negative 2. But you should know, when we divide or multiply any inequality with any negative number, this sign will be changed. If it is less than, it will be changed to greater than sign. If it is greater than sign, it will be changed to less than, because this is less than here. So because we divide it by negative 2, so it will be greater than sign here. And negative 2 and negative 2 cancel out here. Just x will be left. And we know 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2, right? So the solution is x is greater than negative 2, or you may also write it as negative 2 is less than x, right? So this is the solution. Here we can see what are the values of x. X is greater than negative 1. If I write the numbers which are greater than negative 2, that is negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and up to so on. These are the values of x. So if we move to the next question, what it says, if x is an integer, determine the smallest value of x that satisfies the inequality in the above question. Here, what's the smallest value of x? These are the values of x, and negative 1 is smallest among them. So the smallest value of x is negative 1, right? Then we will move to the next question. In this question, use pi as 22 over 7. We already know that pi is a constant number. Its value is always 22 over 7. So a piece of wire is bent to form a square of area 121 centimeter square. It means there is a piece of wire like this, right? And if we bend it and form a square, we will form a square like this. And the area of the square is given to us. That is 121 centimeter squared, right? So calculate the length of each side of the square. So we represent the length of each side of the square as x, right? We know the area of a square is square of the length of its sides. So x squared is 121 centimeters squared, right? If we have to find x, we will take square root on both sides. This and this cancel out. X will become equal to 11 centimeters because square root of 121 is 11, right? So the length of each side will be 11 centimeters. Then we have to calculate the perimeter of the square. What do you mean by perimeter? Perimeter is the sum of the length of each side, like x plus x plus x plus x, right? You may also write it as 4x. The perimeter of a square is 4x. X is the length of each side. So we know x, the length of the side, that is 11 centimeters. So it will be 4 times 11. And we know 4 times 11 is 44 centimeters. So the perimeter of the square is 44 centimeters, right? Then we will move to the next question. The same piece of the wire. The same piece of the wire is bent to form a circle. So we have the same piece of the wire, but we bend it to a circle, to form a circle, right? So what's the radius of the circle? Radius means the distance from the center to any point, right? We have to find the radius of the circle because the length of the wire is already known to us. That is 44 centimeters, right? So from here to here, this whole length is 44 centimeter. We already know that, right? So what we have to find, this distance from one point again to the same point, this distance is called circumference of a circle, and we know circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, right? It means the circumference of the circle is 44 centimeter. So 2 pi r is equals to 44 centimeter, right? We know the value of pi. What's the value of pi? That is 22 over 7. That is already given to us in the question. 2 times 22 over 7 times radius equals to 44, right? So 2 times 22 is 44 over 7 times radius equals to 44, right? When you move this 44 over 2 on the other side, it will be swept. So r will be equal to 44 times 7 over 44. 44 and 44 cancel out, and r will be just 7 centimeters. So the radius of the circle is 7 centimeters, right? Then you have to find the area of the circle. We know how to find the area of a circle. Area of a circle equals to pi r squared. So we already know the radius of the circle is 7 centimeter and pi is 22 over 7, right? 22 over 7 times 7 squared. What is 7 squared? 7 squared is 49, right? So when we divide 49 with 7, it will be just 7, right? So 7 times 22, we can use a calculator here. 22 times 7 equals to 154, right? 154, because it's the area and the unit of area is centimeter squared. So the area of the circle will be 154 centimeters squared, right? Then we will see the next question here. The diagram below, not drawn to the scale, shows triangle OMN. So here we have given a triangle OMN, and its OMN is this similar triangle. You can see this similar triangle is OMN, and OM prime N prime, this larger triangle, that's the image of the original triangle, right, under an enlargement with center O and scale factor K. So scale factor is K. Here angle ONM is 90 degree. ONM, this angle is 90 degrees. So it's a right angle, right? Using the dimensions shown on the diagram, calculate. First of all, what we have to calculate the value of K, the scale factor of the enlargement. So we have to find the scale factor here, right? We have to find the scale factor. So scale factor is the ratio of the side of the image and corresponding side of the original triangle. So K will be 16 over 8. We know 16 divided by 8 is just 2, right? So the scale factor is 2 here, right? So to form the image, we multiplied, and for example, if we take this side, we multiply it by 2 to get the corresponding side of the image. The length of OM, we have to calculate the length of OM. OM is this side, right? So if we look at triangle, OMN, it's a right angle triangle, right? It's a right angle triangle. This is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent, and this is the perpendicular. So we had the hypotenuse is unknown to us. We will represent it by OM, right? So according to Pythagorean theorem, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the square of the adjacent, that is 6, right, and the square of the perpendicular, that is 8. So what is 6 squared? 6 squared is 36, and what's 8 squared is 64. So if we add both of them, you will get 100, right, centimeter squared. That's the side OM, the hypotenuse of triangle OMN, right? So if we take square root on both sides, OM will be just 10 centimeters. So the unknown side OM is just 10 centimeters, right? The length of OM prime is the length of this side. So we can use simply, the most simple way is that we can use the scale factor here, right? What's the scale factor? The scale factor is 2. So OM is the hypotenuse of the original triangle 2 times OM prime, right? OM prime is the hypotenuse of the image. So what is OM? OM is already known to us. That is 10 equals to 2 times OM prime, right? So if we divide both of them by 2, these 2 cancel out, and 10 divided by 2 is just 5, right? So OM